endpoint protection is a pass-fail requirement. If you're doing a SOC 2 or ISO, you have to have it. It's not a question. They're primarily distributed teams with cloud-based assets, and effectively a zero trust environment, right? So in that type of environment, there's really two critical things you need to protect. There's the credentials to your cloud services, right? So this is making sure that somebody doesn't steal your AWS admin credentials and things like that. And there's the endpoint itself, right? And the endpoint itself is where your users live and interact. But it's also, if I can attack the endpoint, I can get access to all the credentials in your password manager and stuff like that. And so the endpoint is a critical point of control, even when all my data is in the cloud. And so it's really important in a modern zero trust distributed environment to have strong endpoint protection in place. It's a critical security. Malware continues to be a threat. This is, all those sorts of email attachments that we're always telling people not to click on and drive-by downloads and stuff like that. But CrowdStrike also protects against something called malwareless attacks. So increasingly, when attackers are compromising environments, they're not just using traditional malware where they drop a executable on your machine and they leverage that executable's capabilities to move laterally and steal passwords and do different things. But they're also using what are called malwareless attacks, which enable them to leverage tools that already exist on systems, credential theft, and other things to move and transport themselves around environments without ever having to use a piece of malware. Those attacks are much harder to detect with traditional anti-malware capabilities, but it's something that CrowdStrike is very good at doing because of CrowdStrike's focus on the tools, tactics, and procedures of threat actors. And understanding those tools, tactics, and procedures, they can effectively protect you from many of these malwareless attacks as well.